Hey everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Now, one of my favorite parts about the holiday season is making my own cards. I just love creating something that's handmade, and the look on people's faces when they see that you've made something for them is like no other. It totally beats a store-bought card. So I thought today I would do a little holiday hand lettering tutorial and show you guys a bunch of different designs and lettering ideas that you can do for your own holiday cards. Honestly, I had so much fun just sitting down and making these, and I'm actually going to be using them as my cards. So I really encourage you guys to experiment, play around, and have fun with it. Come up with designs that are personal to the people that you're giving these cards to. I did want to mention that this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Thank you to Skillshare for being such a great partner to work with. You guys know I've been really involved with their site from learning to teaching, but I will talk a little bit more about that later. But without further ado, let's just get right into this video. For the first card idea, you're going to draw out a shape. In this case, I drew a triangle so that it looks like a Christmas tree. And then you're going to do your lettering inside of that, and you want to make sure that you try to keep it within the lines so that it looks like the shape. And I saw this on Pinterest and I needed to try it out because I thought it was the cutest thing ever, and I love the way it turned out. It looks like a little Christmas tree. I even drew a star on top once I finished the lettering, and the inside just says, "We wish you a very Merry Christmas." And then once you're done the lettering, you can erase the pencil. I ended up drawing a tree trunk to finish off the tree, but that's pretty much it. Super easy and super cute. The next one is to draw a wreath, and this has been one of my go-tos for a while. I always do this whenever I'm making my Christmas trees. You basically have to do a lot of layered V-shapes in order to make a wreath all around a circle. And then I added a little red bow on the bottom, and you can write whatever message you want on the inside. I decided to write Happy Holidays. By the way, any materials or pens that I use will be linked in the description box because I know I get a lot of questions about that. I also did this version except on black paper, and I used these really cool metallic markers that show up on black, which I thought looks so awesome. They are the Kuretake brush pens, again linked in the description box. For this one, instead of writing the message inside of the wreath, I decided to write the message below the wreath in a more minimal font. This one is a tall and skinny font. I thought it made it look a little bit more classy and elegant. But I love this, and it's super easy to do. I just use black Bristol board for the black paper, so nothing too expensive or fancy is required. The next one is this simple Christmas tree that is just comprised of a scribble. Like, look at how easy that was. I did it on the black Bristol board again just because I was kind of going on a roll with this black Bristol board. I just love the way it looks, but you can do it on regular paper as well, and it just makes it look very elegant. For this next card, I wanted to do something very simple and minimal, and that doesn't require, fancy brush pens or anything. I'm just using a regular fine liner and then a couple of colors. So as you can see, I drew a string of Christmas lights, and then I'm going to be coloring them in with various rainbow Christmas lights colors. I'm using the Crayola Super Tips to color them in, very affordable. If you want to avoid the card looking chaotic with all the colors, you can choose to do a pattern of colors like I've done here. For the lettering, I did a basic all caps font that is tiny at the bottom, and I love the way that it looks with the small font, and this one is probably one of my favorites. Okay, so for the next card, I wanted to do a card that said Warm Wishes. I used a brush pen in the center, and then on the top and the bottom, I'm going to be drawing a hat and a scarf, kind of like the lettering is wearing the hat and the scarf. Thought it was so cute. For the inside of the hat and scarf, you can fill it in with whatever pattern you want, stripes, polka dots, whatever. But I decided to go for this kind of Nordic snowflake print. I'm not even sure if that's a correct reference, but I made the scarf and hat match. A cute idea would actually be to make the scarf and hat a design that maybe the person that you're giving the card to always wears or would wear. That's a great way to personalize it. And then I used a red marker to color in some of the elements of the design to give it a pop of color. I didn't color in all of it just because I wanted it to be very simple and minimal, and I love the way that this one looks as well. It's probably another one of my favorites. Okay, moving on to the next card design, I drew a mistletoe hanging from the top of the card with a bow at the top. And for this, I wanted it to be more of an illustrative, loose, sketchy vibe, so I didn't make sure that every single line was perfect. As you can see for the actual mistletoe leaves, I just scribbled in a bunch of green, and then I'm going back in with a fine liner and doing rough leaf shapes just to give it a bit more definition. And to go with the loose vibe, the lettering that I did was very messy and handwritten, which I think goes really well with this card. This card is probably the easiest. You take a brown marker, draw some reindeer antlers, and then write whatever holiday message you want to write. I wrote "Have a Holly Jolly Christmas," and then underneath whatever message you write, just draw a red circle with a red marker, and it looks like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. How easy and how cute was that? I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, so I wanted to make sure I have a couple non-denominational holiday cards in here. So this one, as well as the Warm Wishes hat and scarf one, and then a couple more coming up, don't have to do with Christmas. For this one, I wrote Happy Holidays, and then I'm drawing a bunch of snowflakes all around it. You guys already know my love for doodling snowflakes. I think that they are just so fun to draw because they're easy, there's a ton of different possibilities, and they're quick to do. So this card, I think, turns out really well and looks like it takes a lot of effort when really it doesn't. Especially on this black Bristol board, it just makes the snowflakes pop and the silver color looks awesome. But you can also do this on white paper and just a, regular marker. I just loved the look of this black paper and the silver marker. So I did also draw a couple of dots and circles around to represent smaller snowflakes. I know I've said this about a couple different cards, but this one really is another one of my favorites. The next couple of cards are simple in that it is mostly just the lettering taking up a majority of the space on the card. There's not really any doodles, so I went with the metallic on black Bristol board again just because I was so obsessed with this effect throughout the whole video, and I just did a simple border all around it, and this one looks very clean and classic. I also wanted to do a more festive one, so I used the red and green markers. I switched off between the lettering styles and the colors, which is something that I encourage you to play with. I love the look of mixed lettering styles. I think it adds a little visual interest. I also added a couple doodles of holly leaves on the side just to fill in the blank space. For the next card, I wanted to do a New Year card, so I wrote Happy New Year in gold, and then all around it I'm doing these curved shapes with a dot on the end of them to make it look like a firework is exploding all around the Happy New Year. So there you go, over 10 different holiday card ideas. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. I'm very curious to know. Alright everyone, so I hope this video helped you get some inspiration for your own holiday cards. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you don't know what they are, they're an online learning community with over 15,000 classes in photo, illustration, and design. One of those classes actually includes my own class. I do have a Skillshare class that you guys can learn from. The link will be in the description box below. It's all about creative planning and journaling and doodling. There's a ton of exclusive content on there, so it'd be really cool if you guys could check it out. I know a bunch of you have mentioned that you have tried the class and you loved it, so that means a lot to me because I did put a lot of work into it. Premier membership on Skillshare starts as low as $10 a month. That would actually be such a cool gift idea, to give someone the gift of learning cool things and give them a Skillshare membership. How cool would that be? You can teach a class yourself, or you can learn on the go on their mobile app, whatever you want. The possibilities are endless. So I really encourage you guys to go check it out. You can click the link in the description box for a free trial. You won't regret it. So I think that's pretty much it. Keep doodling, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye everyone.